So GoPro in low light. As you can tell, it really sucks. So as you see, you can only see purple. Can you see stuff in the night sky? Yes, you can see the moon and star. You can see the houses there. And stabilization is probably not working the best. Here's a little light. The GoPro can actually see a little bit in the light. Now we go back to the dark. So I set the max ISO to 32,000. This is on my standard sort of quote-unquote cinematic profile, which is supposed to give you more cinematic results. Well, in low light, it doesn't really do that because stabilization doesn't work well in low light since it's electronic. And it still uses a high shutter speed. Let's fix that with a little low light profile I made. Okay, so this is the low light profile I made, and it probably looks like complete crap. Oh, nice car. And I jacked up the ISO a little bit. So I jacked up the ISO a little bit, and that makes it able to see a little bit better in the dark, but as you see with purple splotches all over the place, it's not the best in low light. Of course, it's a GoPro. And as you can also tell, the stabilization is turned off since, well, stabilization on GoPros is not good when you're in low light. So I had to turn it off so that I wouldn't get weird artifacts. But the weird artifacts do not happen, I repeat, do not happen when you turn it off. So the footage might be shakier, yeah. This handheld with no stabilization, as you can probably tell. But yeah, since we're going into a better lighted area, let's switch back to my quote-unquote cinematic profile. Okay, here we go. Stabilization is turned back on. So yeah, you can tell the stabilization looks way better now since we have actual light, these little cool Christmas lights. But yeah, a GoPro is not good in low light because its sensor barely captures enough light to see anything. Like those bushes, invisible. That window, visible because it has a light. So I set the ISO to 3200 on most profiles because that's the best that it looks. The only reason I set it to 6400 on the quote-unquote low light profile is to try to see as much as I can. So this is on the standard profile. You can just kind of mount it here. This is on the standard cinematic profile. Let's switch to the low light and see if there's a difference. So this is on the low light profile. Tell me if you can see any difference. Is it cleaner, noisier? Of course, you can tell the motion blur is way different and stabilization is turned off, but how does it look compared? Do you think I did a good job with the low light profile, or should I change it? Because I have no idea how you know, it would be affected, or what max ISO to use, because the higher the max ISO you use, the more you can see in the dark, but the worse it looks. For instance, it's probably going up to ISO 6400 right here, then going down to 3200 right here. So as you see, it's all about pros and cons. Is a GoPro good enough for low light vlogging? In a city, yes. In pitch black, like we are in Arizona, absolutely not. So yeah, let me just go show you how pitch black it gets here. So let's turn around and excuse the shakiness, obviously, because there's a tiny camera being held on a stick. Gets that dark with creaky noises. I'm wearing dark clothing in low light, which is a horrible idea because of cars. So let's take a look at just how dark things can get, because the street that the Airbnb is on has no lights, which is dumb, very dumb. I could get hit by a car. Ready? Watch this. This is the street. So the low light profile can at least see something, although there are purple specks all over the screen. So let's go to cinematic and see if it can see anything. And the cinematic profile can see absolutely nothing. Nothing but the parking lot, and the stabilization is failing, as you see. Oh, that looks weird. Let's go back to the nighttime profile. So sure, the nighttime profile is the weird purple crap, but at least you can see a little bit more. Like maybe I pointed up at the night sky. You can see the moon and the star. You maybe see a few other stars. My guess is probably not. You can see me a little bit in this purple sea, but here's how you fix low light on a GoPro. You add light. So, turn on my phone light, point it towards the street, and all of a sudden, low light bad, low light. This phone light's so weak, never mind. I was gonna say low light better, but maybe just take a flashlight with your GoPro. And take a flashlight with the GoPro, it's probably not gonna be too bad. So, to finish off, this low light profile consists of ISO max at 6400, stabilization turned off, and what else? Oh yeah, shutter's set to 1/24th in the really low light sections. So yeah, probably looks like complete crap. And if you're filming a lot of low light stuff, don't use a GoPro or bring a light. Yeah. And for low light, what would be way better in low light is honestly an APS-C or full frame camera. Canon DSLRs do okay in low light. Sony mirrorless do pretty well in low light, and then full frame Panasonic do really well in low light, but you know, much more expensive options than a GoPro right here. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna leave the settings in the description. It's valid for GoPro Hero 8, 9, 10, and 11 if one comes out. So yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.